back to Houston, Texas. Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink. It's the men's semifinals with Luis Moreno and Sean Lenning going up against each other, both from the Tucson Racket Club. We're here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app, where this one is going to be electric here as we have the best 2 out of 3 to 15 format back. Dave,
always exciting when these guys match up, and for a long time, Dave, these guys were the number 1 and 2 players on the race tour for the better part of the first 2 seasons. As a matter of fact, they traded the number 1 ranking. Sean Lenning has never defeated Luis Moreno in race play. They've played 6 times in the race, most of those in finals.
Do you think it could happen here?
I certainly think that it's possible. I expected Sean to beat Luis when they played in a WPH sanctioned no frills event last week, but Luis won that match easily. I know that Sean had beat Luis in practice a couple of weeks prior to that, but there seems to be something that comes out of Luis when he plays Sean, almost like, I don't want to lose to this guy. And Sean feels that. I think Sean being sensitive almost, it affects his game
Luis.
negatively. You know, he's thinking, this guy really wants to beat me.
Yeah.
And you saw Sean last year when he picked Moreno's name at the Players' Championship. He didn't really pick it. It was the last name available, and Sean was the last guy available. And he just shook his head. He said, I want to play anybody but him. That was pretty telling. Now, Sean's training now, and he's a different guy, and maybe he's a different guy mentally. We'll see.
Yeah, I remember early on, Sean had Luis. You know, but you can say that about anybody that you're older than, and they're young, and obviously they haven't learned everything yet. But Sean had Luis's number, and then it seemed like Luis only needed to beat Sean one time, and it was pretty much over with. I sometimes think that we believe more in Sean than Sean believes in Sean, because he's got all the tools to defeat Luis Moreno. In fact, I would think they match up in Sean's favor. Much like Alan Garner, takes it on and says, well,
Sean, why don't you go ahead and call it
I know the formula to defeat him. This is the coin toss. Looks like Luis Moreno will serve first here.
Luis, you want to serve first game?
That's a yes from Luis Moreno. Will be serving. Our referee is Andy Shad.
All right, where's Jeff at? You good? Okay.
Some of you who are watching Luis do this, this is actually hard to do, what he's doing out there, hitting that ball like that. Here's the announcement.
Match of the day, featuring number 2 ranked Luis Moreno from Tucson, Arizona. And
yeah, that's right. Put the hands together for that.
And number 6th ranked Sean Lenning, also from Tucson, Arizona.
Sean Lenning, living in Tucson, Arizona, now originally from Shoreline, Washington.
0, serve 0.
Let's see what Luis does here in this serve to start this match.
Could have been called a screen.
I think Sean was happy that he was able to get it back. Luis has such a great serve. I'll sometimes take a screen serve.
Hit ball.
This is
it's a point.
What I've seen so often with Sean playing Luis. Those shots that Sean makes so consistently, they just seem to dip in against Luis.
0. Short ball. Second serve.
You see Luis on a second serve just going for an ace. That's Pete Sampras-like.
2 serves 0. No. Short ball. Second service.
Luis looks really focused here already.
I thought Luis played outstanding this morning. And Luis is not known as a great early morning player. And he was here early. He was very focused. And, I had a good view of it, as good as anyone.
0 serving 2.
And I thought he was
it took me a while to get that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he was outstanding this morning. Very sharp.
Well, you have to remember, he's in a different time zone. This is, an hour in his favor. Wow, that ball really had a hook on it. Sean could not get his hand on it, and there's a side out.
2 serve 0.
We're at 2-0, not 2-1 on the scoreboard, but 2-0. And look at that flat.
I'm sorry, I called the score wrong.
Okay, now the scorekeeper was right.
Let's play that again. Sorry, Sean. It's 2 serves.
Ugh. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
2 serving 1.
That could have been an ace, although I thought it was short.
Oh, jeez. Luis is right on that serve right now. That ball
Luis,
breaks away, too.
Side out.
I saw Luis take a number of shots from 36 or 37 feet with either hand today and roll them out flat
2.
this morning.
No. Short ball. Second serve.
And a lot of
Side
guys
out.
struggle with that Sean Lenning deep 2-wall serve, but Luis does not.
2 serves 1. No. It's 2 serves.
Does Sean have to make more of an
2
effort to get out of the way
serving
there, Dave?
I think Sean thought he was going to go around the right side.
Football.
And
It's
that's
always
one of those
Left
things
foot.
that if you actually,
Little bit
if
over
Sean
the line,
jumps over to the
Luis.
right and Luis goes at the same
Second
time, they
serve.
make a collision.
But it's
That's
one
not
of those
gonna
things
feel
where
good.
you always say, well, I thought he was going there, but they always seem to think he's going where he's not going.
Well, no,
That
they
takes
just
away the
hold their
play.
ground. They stay in one spot. It's like, I know if I'm going to go here, I'm going to run into you. We're going to have, an injury here.
Side out.
Sean could get hurt. Luis can get hurt. I'm just going to stay here. At least I'm here. That's how I think he looks at it, or
1
other players.
serving 2.
Dave, I know you always try to get out of everybody's way, but
I actually think I'm the fairest player there is.
Side out.
And I say that with 100% sincerity.
okay.
2 serving 1.
There was a rumor that you picked up a 2 bounce here at the tournament in an earlier round. Well, it's not funny. It's a rumor. I mean,
no.
So side out.
Now, that was handled in the parking lot, that accusation.
okay.
So
1
that's
serving
been
2.
squashed, as they say.
Literally, actually,
Yeah,
pun
yeah,
intended.
yeah.
I know you don't know what a pun is, but
Trying to get there.
That's a point.
Sean looks really good right now. A little bit of a slow start.
2 serving 2. No. Short ball.
I like that from the ref. Just say no. You don't have to call short.
Second serve.
Referees can shorten up things and make it easy. Just say no. Stop.
That's a point.
I'm
How
okay
much
with
shorter
that.
is it to say no than short?
No, I just think no is better.
3
Short,
serving
it
2.
requires putting tongues and teeth and your palate together, and it's just harder to say. No is easy. Everything should be no. That means stop.
point.
I'll tell you later what it means when we stop.
4 serving 2.
Sean doubling up the score here against Moreno. I mean, you don't say Murray stop. You say Murray no.
Luis has never lost a match here at this
point.
Houston Race for 8 event. Didn't play in
Let
it
Luis.
in 2013
Switch
and
out.
then won it last year in 2014. So he's a defending champion. You add that to his 2 wins thus
5
far in this
serves
event,
2.
and he's 6-0 here at the Tillepson Family YMCA.
Point.
That is certainly in danger here, Dave. Particularly with Sean Lenning starting the way he is now.
6 serves 2.
Now, recall Luis and Sean, one of the better matches of the year last year, or year
point.
before last. I'm going to say this wrong. I was thinking Denver, Colorado when they matched up, and Sean had that.
Timeout.
He was at
1 minute.
deficit, came back, and almost forced a breaker, that sort of situation. And, so we can see what I guess my point would be. I believe we know that Sean knows how to put together points against Luis. Just finishing Luis off is the big thing.
Well, I think, Dave, you were at the Plummer pre-race event, which probably was one of the best matches. That was not broadcasted, but Sean faced match point in the second game and came back and actually won that match 11-9 in a tiebreaker. So
How you feeling?
that had to have been a good confidence boost for Sean Lenning.
Good. You're shooting the crap out of the ball, man. Playing tough. The digging, smashing, or getting everything is now combined with the smashing the crap out of it.
Hear the referee talking to what
All
I
right.
believe is Tyler Hamill.
That
but
was your first timeout.
just making a guess. Luis Moreno
Your 1 minute timeout.
took a timeout there, and I think Luis is
Time
really
is in.
doing that just to try to break momentum. Let's see what happens. Sean
Score
and
is
Luis both
7,
going to the
serving
Gatorade
2.
bottle during that timeout.
Hinder ball. Check the ball.
Is Sean a rhythm player? Is he one of these guys that can have his rhythm broken by
2 serves.
timeouts
7
and getting hit by the
serves,
ball
2.
and arguing. Is that sort of? He seems so calm and collected, but
It's a point.
But when you talk to him about the things that he feels that are, you know, his deficits, he
serving
brings
2.
up the fact that he can't stay headstrong, but he always seems to be under control, right?
I think so. Sean
Point.
looks spectacular right now. I can't really speak to Sean's head during a timeout.
Nine.
Well, I mean, you've played him, so
2.
you would know.
Yeah.
No. It's a short
It just
ball.
seems to be all in Sean's hands when you play Sean
Second
Lenning.
service.
When he's rolling, there's really nothing you can do except hope that he cools down.
Oh, that was a terrible overhit, and another one right back at you.
Interball.
That is unavoidable. Sean's right.
Okay. Okay. Let's play it again.
I agree with Sean. I mean, I
You got a good point, Sean. I might have missed the call. Let's play it again.
like that.
Yeah.
Score is 9, serving 2.
That's how that's done.
Yeah, I might have missed the call, but let's just play it over.
And
Boy.
Sean hit that in
Side
the
out.
only spot that he wouldn't have won that rally.
Well, Luis
Right
likes to
Luis.
overplay back to the middle of the court, and I think Sean thought Luis would migrate back to the
2
middle.
serving
Luis
9.
stayed right on the same wall. Sean hit it right back to Luis.
Foot fault. Luis, your left foot. It's about halfway over to the front line.
And this has been the pattern today, blowout games.
Second serve.
The losing players only scored more than 6 points in one of the games that we've watched
Yeah, isn't that
Skip.
crazy?
today.
Side out. 9
We've
serves
seen
2.
donuts. We've seen one-point games. It's crazy. And yet, they've been entertaining for some reason, and also, you know, skillful. It doesn't feel like I'm bored watching these. That's a nice little underhand paddle
Point.
from Sean Lenning.
If you were just stepping in here, Dave, into the
10,
gallery, you'd think it was
serving
Sean Lenning
2.
that had won 10 of their last 12 encounters. Just looks like he's
Skip
completely
ball. I'm sorry.
dominating.
The ball slid. Thank you, Luis. I saw you hold up. Need a towel? All right. All right, it's 2 serves. Score is 10, serving 2.
Remember, Dave, it was Sean Lenning who trailed 5-1 in the tiebreaker yesterday after losing the last 14 points of game 2.
Hinder ball.
Looked like he might be out of this event in the first round
He was
again.
close.
Instead,
That's true. It hopped away, but he was close. Hinder ball. Hinder ball.
Go ahead, Dave.
2 serves.
well, Luis is not happy right now.
Well, I'm
10, serving 2.
not sure what Sean was arguing about.
But Sean Lenning did finally get through the first round here after 2 first-round flameouts 2 years in a row in Houston, and he's parlaying that.
2 serves 10. That's a point. 3 serves 10. Side out.
You're watching the ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
10 serves 3. That's a point.
This is the Sean Lenning that nearly defeated Paul Brady twice.
11 serving 3.
This Sean Lenning lost to Paul Brady 11-10 and 11-9 respectively. Could have easily won both those matches. But if you're a handball fan, Dave, this is what you want to see. Outstanding handball.
Oh, wow.
The power, the gets, the kills,
Good point.
precision. Amazing.
12 serving 3.
Going to 15, and it's 12-3. And look at that laser shot right there from Sean Lenning, bringing it to 13.
And remember, Dave, I know you're a numbers guy. Luis led
13
2-0.
serves 3.
13-1 since then for Sean Lenning. We want to say hello
Saw
to
it good. It's a point.
Sean's dad and spiritual leader, Larry Lenning, who's
14
watching closely.
serving 3.
And Sean's one serve away from taking this to a
First
first game
game,
win, and he
gentlemen.
does. 15-3,
Got 3
first game.
minutes.
Sean Lenning wins. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We'll have more action from Houston. Coming up next, Sean Lenning defeats Luis Moreno in that game number 1, but we'll have 2 in just a bit here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.
life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostUp.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
The Tucson Racket Club is your home away from home. Join us for world-class tennis, handball, racquetball, and the new rage, pickleball. Or try one of our 160 weekly group exercise classes. Want to swim laps or play with your family in the pool? Enjoy our 2 junior Olympic-sized pools and wading pool that are open year-round. Then round out the perfect day with a delicious meal at our restaurant or sports bar. All at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, where Country Club Road ends and fitness begins.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point. There's smoky.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Okay, Sean, you'll be serving the second game. Score 0, serving 0.
We are back for game number 2. 0-0 is the score for game number 2. Best 2 out of 3 to 15. Breaker also to 15. Scoreboard will reflect that in a flash.
Now, that wasn't a shot to win a game by Luis, but I think that's a big message right there, taking away Sean's corner kill, and then goes to a lob serve. Gets a setup.
Little congestion there. No complaint from Luis. But he had an argument, slight. I know Boke Ferris won't like that. He'll say as a referee, you can't call anything on those plays, but.
So you're just speculating on what someone might say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Well. The defense attorneys against me always love that. A lot of legal battles.
Yeah, sure.
Sean Lenning, look at that return kill that he puts up with his left hand.
Hold on a second, gentlemen.
Not to be that guy, but you know how to turn the volume down on your phone so you know America doesn't have to hear that knocking sound?
Well, I so rarely get a
Serve,
text that
0.
it's never been a problem for me.
I hear every single one of them, every one.
But I know that
them.
I know that you and
serve short.
you're texting me
One
not because
disagree,
there's a special
second
ringtone, but
disagree.
because it beeps 20 times in a row, 20 straight text messages. That's
Good
how
point.
I'm cued off that it's you.
Well, we can turn that volume off for
True,
this
sir, you're
live
right.
broadcast.
You know, a normal person will send you 1, 2.
Let's listen to this
I
argument here.
called it short.
Let's see what happened here.
I can check, but when I said short, he looked up at me. What's the rule on that, you know?
Call short after, but it was pretty ace-like. I'm going with an ace, so.
Can you ask him for me on that real quick? We're checking.
And
I called it. I know what you're saying, but I think I called it and affected his chance to return.
Tell us what happened, because we don't really know.
No, I know what happened. It's the ref's decision. No.
Okay. Let's see. We're checking.
No, the ref has to decide if he thinks, now that the serve is good, he has to decide, could Luis have gotten to it if he went for it? That's his call, arbitrary.
Okay. Thank you, Emmett. He's a PhD candidate. He should know that.
I thought the ball was short. I mean, that's another thing. Somebody should be appealing this, because that ball's short by 3 inches. I mean,
let's see
this argument. Yeah, watch this here.
Right.
Watch this here. Ball.
Sean, it's my call.
Bam. Now go back.
I apologize.
See?
I called it. I think
Look
I
how
affected
far
his
short
ability
that
to
is.
get it. You get 2 serves. It's not
I mean,
a point.
that's on the way up.
Oh, I thought that was good.
Oh my.
I didn't. I
God.
said short.
Short.
It's short by 3 inches. Look, Dave, as we can see the ball here, as it's already, that's hitting the ground right there. And now coming up.
Well, I can't see with your finger covering the whole screen.
That ball. You get 2 serves.
Unbelievable. This argument they're having, isn't even
You are
valid.
hitting it
That's
hard.
at what, 3 inches? We have Marco Chavez
You've
in
got
here.
2 serves.
3
0
inches
serve
short.
0.
Now that one was good. That's why I wanted clarification on the argument, because seeing it short, you're wondering, why is somebody worried about getting a ball that's actually short?
1 serve 0. No. Short serve. Second service.
Just got a direct message on my
right in Sean's face.
On my Twitter, Dave.
You all right, Sean?
Why doesn't Sean Lenning win every match
ball.
he ever plays? Hashtag unstoppable. That was a DM.
Here, Sean. Check that. It's behind you.
Well,
All right, you've
what's
got
the
2
answer
serves.
to that? I mean, you and I
My
expect
answer
him
is
to win every match.
If he plays like this, then he would win
Score
every
is
match.
1
So
serves 0.
I agree with the person that just sent me that DM. At Joey D.
What is a DM again?
2 serve 0. Point.
Luis Moreno wins his quarterfinal match 15-1 in the second
3,
game. Comes
0.
out here and loses 15-3 in the first game. Now down 3-0.
Well, but we've seen that the whole tournament. We
That's
saw
what I mean.
Marco Chavez defeated
see his
Adam
slide.
Bernhardt
Slide out.
15-0.
Yeah.
In his last match, comes in and scores 1 in the next round against his
0,
foe,
serving
Emmett
3.
Peugeot. But then defeated Emmett in the next. I mean, very up and down scoring today. We saw a lot of tiebreakers yesterday, remember?
3 tiebreakers in the round of
And
8.
then today it's a lot of 1s and 0s and 2s. Interesting.
3 serve 0.
Oh my God, that was the best serve I've ever seen in my life right there. 90-mile-per-hour bullet
4,
that hit the
serve
floor
0.
and took off. He had so much spin on that, Dave, that it's hitting and checking up and straightening out at 90 miles per hour. It's not even touching the sidewall. Now, you go in there and try and hit a ball that lands 4 inches from the sidewall and never touches the sidewall.
Well, I did.
5,
And I'm
serve
having surgery
0.
on the 30th. Thank you. I'm not lying.
I think you should give it one more go at the old TRC before you book your final plans, just to make sure.
Well, I think if you keep running your mouth, that might not happen at the TRC. It might happen here.
Point.
Oh.
Me versus you.
Wow. I've got a 5th place final to
play
forfeit,
0.
so I'm not so sure.
I haven't scored a 0 yet in this tournament like everybody else, so.
Second serve.
Not to make it about me. Second serve, 6-0, Sean up.
Interball.
Luis doesn't historically play well on his birthday weekend. Last year, the exception. And he just doesn't. I mean, some players in baseball will hit home runs on their birthday. King Griffey Jr. Those are.
He won in Atlanta and raced for 8-1.
That wasn't on his birthday weekend.
It was, though. Yeah. So 2 weekends out of 2 during the race that he's played, he's won on his birthday.
0.
A lot of times he just says, I don't want to play in tournaments on that weekend.
Point.
Remember the first time here, he just didn't come because it was his birthday.
Yeah.
7 serves 0.
Well, Dave, I know your birthday's a very special night. The entire neighborhood comes out for it.
It's a point.
The biggest party they've ever had in the neighborhood. Only invited 4 people. 400 showed up.
8. Serve
Thought
0.
it was the reverse.
It was a quiet 400.
And
Skip.
you'd
That's
have
it.
to think
What is
Luis
going on
Moreno
there?
has
Point.
never been beaten this badly in his life. I mean, 3 points out of 28?
But Sean's making this look
9.
easy.
Serve
Yeah.
0. Skip.
Another skip shot from Luis.
10. Serving 0.
This is what happens when you are taken completely out of your
It's a
game.
short serve.
And Sean's not just taking down
Second
Moreno for the
serve.
first time in race play. He's knocking the wall down with a bulldozer. Sean's been hit now, what, 6, 7 times
Yeah, well,
on the
Sean
way
knew
in?
that one was coming. He tried to grab it. They don't feel good, those shots.
Sean. Got 2 serves, Sean. 10. Serve 0.
And this is just unthinkable
Point.
now.
$11. Serving 0.
Yeah, this
No.
truly is what you would say an upset in the making here.
Second serve.
Not just an upset, the way it's going. 15-3 and 11,
Look at that serve.
12-0.
Point.
That was a flat rollout off the side wall.
12. Serves 0.
I mean, Sean's in the finals.
Yeah.
And there's another
That was
point
2
now,
bounces.
13-0.
Thank you, Luis. It's a point.
Luis Moreno might get a donut here.
But Luis isn't calling
13,
timeouts and trying to stop
serving 0.
play. He's not playing the pro
He's trying-
game.
He's trying to get himself into a groove that he can actually
He needs to break
hit
the
some
momentum.
shots.
I mean, Sean's getting
Okay. I saw the serve good.
And Sean's out
One
for
agrees,
blood.
both
Appealing the
agree.
serve at
Side out.
13-0.
I thought it was a slide ball at the end. Obviously, ref isn't going to
0
call it, but
serving 13.
Sean could have gone to video replay there. I guess he's going to hold off.
Yeah, he's saving that. Might need that.
There it is. First points for
Point.
Luis Moreno here in game number 2. No donut.
And Sean did not want Luis to get on the board.
You might see Luis rattle off some points here now.
I don't think so.
Well, Sean's the type of guy that he has that goal of a 0.
that's true.
And I know how he is.
Serving
That's true.
Maybe his goal is just to win, and that is just icing on a cake.
Hit a ball.
Wow, Luis hit that ball hard.
And despite the contact on the
Two
screen,
serves.
Sean still hit a kill shot.
1 serving 13. It's a point. 2 serving 13.
Moreno goes to that overhand serve. Trying to take Sean out of his offense, but Sean can hit an offensive shot from anywhere.
Hit a ball.
Oof.
It's a bad call. Sorry.
Oof.
No, I called the hitter ball. Sorry.
Should that be reviewed
Call
in
it
the
too early,
rules to
Sean,
be able to
sorry.
overturn something
Two
like that? Because
serves.
it didn't
Well,
affect the play.
He could. He could.
2.
So right now he could have.
13.
Absolutely. He can change his call.
He said bad call. Why not just change it if that's the case?
No, he could.
Side out.
But the referee did make the call before Sean hit the ball.
13 serving 2.
I mean, bang, bang before.
Short. Second serve. It's a point.
Here it is, match point, Sean Lenning.
14.
Going to go to the
serving
finals
2.
to face either Emmett Bichotte or Paul Brady.
No.
That was short.
Short serve. Second serve.
I mean, would you say this is unthinkable?
Yes. I don't know what to say.
But
right
I don't, and I think it's it right here.
now. Yeah.
And Sean does it. Puts away
Game,
Luis
gentlemen,
Moreno
in
in 2, 15-3, 15-2 in a match that lasted literally 25 minutes.
Wow.
That's playing, Sean.
Nice playing is an understatement.
I mean, that's a dominating performance against Luis Moreno. Somebody he cannot beat. Luis is his kryptonite.
You got
Yeah.
it. Thanks.
I mean, Sean Lenning comes in here and Dave, now we say it's the referee just said it best through the headsets. We can hear him say unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just, I just can't believe what I just saw.
Yeah.
But, we said, I just said this a couple seconds ago this is something that, you don't think you would see. But in reality, you and I have been saying this all along. Sean Lenning is really, on a given day, the best player you've ever seen or played in your entire life. So it's not so unbelievable that he could do this. It's just unbelievable in the sense that he hasn't been able to do it against Luis Moreno.
Yeah. I played him a couple weeks ago, and it was this, exactly. And I thought to myself, I wasn't even upset. There was nothing I could have done. There's nothing I could have done differently.
But he wasn't upset either. So how does he tap into it sometimes and then not other times?
I mean, I really don't know what to say. I mean, I think all sports is the same. You can't just go out there and say I'm going to shoot 60 today or 59. It just happens some days, or some days it doesn't. I mean, some days you actually throw a perfect game. Next day you go out there and give up 4 earned runs in the first inning. Everything felt the same. You ate the same thing. You got up at the same time. You never know why one day you're the greatest and the next day you're not. I mean, that's, I guess, why we play the game and why we hold these tournaments.
Think back to the round of 16. He was pushed by Vic Perez.
Well, he was down 5-1 in the tiebreaker after losing 14 straight points to lose game number 2. So he looked like he was out of the tournament right there. And now all of a sudden, nearly giving Luis Moreno a donut, defeating him 30-5 combined score.
But he's the one guy that is consistently been sort of Paul Brady's kryptonite, even though it hasn't crushed Brady yet. But he's the guy that I said to Sean, you play. Why do you play good? He goes, I don't know. He's the one that I really gear up for. I gear up for him. I don't gear up for Anthony Celesto. Anthony Celesto is somebody I know I should beat, and therefore I don't try. And even I know I'm going through these motions and I say these things, I still don't. I don't want to try against Anthony. I want to try against Paul Brady. But you have to beat Anthony Celesto and Vic Perez to get to Paul Brady. And really, it wasn't Paul Brady that it was his problem. It was getting through Luis Moreno.
Yeah.
Now that he won this match, this could be pivotal in his career because now he could be sending a message back like, you don't control me anymore.
Yeah, well, I've introduced Sean Lenning as the former #1, soon-to-be #1. And that's basically what I think.
Well, because you see him in practice and you know.
Yeah.
And you play everybody on the tour, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, Sean wins game #1, 15-3, comes back, gets game #2, 15-2. Now we have Paul Brady and Emmett Peixote coming up next. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back for Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. Stick around. We have more handball action live from Houston here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. 10 minutes. Give us. We'll be back.